What's up, YouTube? So I know the last thing you probably want to see is another transformation video. However, a lot of people over the years have asked me, how did I go from looking like this from one day looking like that? It was like an overnight sort of transformation. In fact, I did that in just 3 months. That's 30 pounds of pure muscle with little to no fat gains in just 3 months. And I know when I experienced that myself, I myself was kind of impressed. Like, how the heck did that happen so fast? Not only did I put on muscle, but my jaw structure changed, my bone and facial structure, my whole health improved. I went from having digestive and skin issues, mental and emotional issues, to gaining muscle, looking a lot better, and feeling a lot better. And I happen to think that my transformation is actually a bit different from the ones I see out there. You see, I didn't do anything crazy. Actually, my transformation was a lot less about what I did and a lot more about what I stopped doing that was inhibiting me from putting on muscle and being healthy. So if you want to learn how I did that, if you want to learn what I stopped doing, what was killing my health, robbing me of muscular development, draining my energy, etc., then follow me. All right, so how did I do it? How did I go from this skinny, underweight, no muscle, not to mention a bunch of health issues, to this, and then eventually this? Well, before I explain to you exactly how I did it and what I started to do, let's talk about what I was doing when I looked like that other picture. You see that first photo, the before photo? I was about 9 years into veganism, all different types of veganism, everything from conventional veganism to raw veganism, and different types of vegetarianism. I was also doing chronic cardio. I would run to the gym, I would work out on the treadmill before, I would do cardio-like ab exercises and superset all of my workouts, and then I would run home. And then of course I would go after and I would eat a vegan meal, and depending on the time, I was probably consuming some sort of vegetable-rich meal post-workout, or if I was raw vegan, it was maybe a green smoothie. Now somewhere along this time, I fortunately met a good friend who became my best friend for about 5 years, and he became my workout partner. Now he was a pretty standard bodybuilder type and ate a bodybuilding style diet, which was pretty much resembling a paleo style diet. Also, he was doing more bodybuilding lifts, so he wasn't really doing tons of cardio, he wasn't running, he wasn't supersetting, he was incorporating lots of heavy weight and lower rep time. And he's generally a very relaxed, laid back dude. And after a pretty quick evaluation of my body composition, when I was doing this stuff before, he had me do a few things. He had me start lifting very heavy, incorporating a lot of heavy lifts, bodybuilding style workouts, so split workouts, working every body part individually, doing very heavy lifts with lower reps, although with perfect form. In my diet, of course, I started to incorporate animal products again. In about 3 months of doing this, cutting the cardio, getting off the vegan and raw vegan diets, lifting heavier, and consuming animal products again with a greater emphasis on carbs, so getting off any low carb veganism, I went from that to that. Now the best part of all is not only did I put on this muscle and I started to look better, but I had way more energy. My acne started to go away. The thinning hair I started to experience on the vegan diet also went away. My digestive issues went away, as well as anxiety and depression. So not only did I gain this muscle and I started to look a lot better, at least in my opinion, but my health improved greatly. Now, I've obviously learned tons from that point. Actually, that photo was a few years ago, so I've changed since and I've learned a lot more. I've studied everything from Ayurveda to Chinese medicine to physiology and biology. So I don't want to share everything I know now in regards to experiencing a transformation like that. I'll create more videos in the future as to how to put on healthy weight, healthy muscle, etc. And of course, all the videos here are dedicated to improving your health. Instead, I want to share with you what I think were the most pivotal changes I made back then to experience that transformation. Now the first is actually a bit unconventional, it has nothing to do with diet or exercise or working out, and that is to get a coach, a workout partner ideally, or a mentor that at least looks somewhat what you want to look like. I was a skinny guy, I was an anxious, depressed guy, I had digestive issues, skin issues, and I knew my current weight and health was not ideal and I wanted to improve those things. So I found this workout partner who became a best friend as well, who taught me tons. And not only that, he was a constant form of reliability. I was constantly accounted for. He made sure I went to the gym, and I didn't even actually have to think about it. He never had to force me. Just hanging out with him and the working out was a fun experience in of itself. So I definitely recommend a workout partner as opposed to a training coach or a personal trainer, because if you don't like that person, you're not going to stick to those workouts. You're not even going to show up to the gym. So although it might be difficult, make friends with somebody who's doing what you want to do in the gym, who's enjoyable to be around, who makes working out fun, because I'll tell you what, it's hard as hell. I literally did the most intense workouts of my life. I would almost throw up at times. I went from literally not being able to squat to repping 450 and repping over 1,000 pounds on the leg press. And I would have never done it without his external or extrinsic motivation and friendship. So if you're somebody who's been struggling to put on the muscle, although you're eating right, you're going to the gym and exercising, see if you can find somebody who you like, a friend who can hold you accountable and make those tough workouts fun. And if you're curious, this is what my old workout buddy looked like. The guy was 5'5", I think, and over 200 pounds of solid muscle, one of the strongest and funniest guys I've ever met. The second thing that I did, I think that was the most pivotal, was I got rid of my dietary dogmas. You see, I was so convinced that a vegan or vegetarian diet was the only way to be healthy. And to be honest, I knew very little about nutrition. It was very much a dogmatic approach to nutrition. I didn't understand physiology or biology, let alone how the metabolism or digestion worked back then. So I eventually admitted that what I was doing, although highly convinced, wasn't giving me the results I wanted, so I tried something different. So my big tip for you there is to not just experiment, but especially if you're on a raw vegan or vegetarian diet and you're not putting on the muscle you need, there could be a reason for that. Now, there are vegan and vegetarian bodybuilders, although I would probably say that they actually put on the great majority of their muscle mass in the past when they weren't, and now they're just maintaining because of the androgenic properties of their muscle that they put on in the past. So for those of you starting off who are skinny with little to no muscle like I did, I wouldn't recommend starting off on a vegan or vegetarian diet. Honestly, I probably wouldn't recommend them altogether, especially for putting on muscle, because you're going to be cholesterol deficient. As I talked about in this earlier video, there are a couple ways to do a vegan diet more appropriately and more healthy, but you're always going to run into that cholesterol deficiency, which means you're going to run into an androgen deficiency, meaning you'll produce less testosterone and the anabolic muscle building hormones that you need. So I would definitely recommend, if you're vegan, vegetarian, or if you're just not eating an appropriate diet, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of good nutrition. In fact, I would say that nutrition, adequate or appropriate nutrition, is more important than your workouts alone. The third major thing that I did was I significantly reduced my stress across all planes. Looking first at exercise, I was doing cardio, tons and tons of cardio. And endurance workouts, anaerobic or aerobic cardio, is a major stress on your body. You produce tons of cortisol and adrenaline, which inhibits the production of a hormone called progesterone, which is the precursor to testosterone. So if you're trying to put on muscle but you are in love with cardio exercises, see if you can fall in love with a different form of exercise. I'm not saying never do cardio again. I'm not going to tell you to not do what you want to do, but I am going to tell you, objectively, scientifically speaking, cardio is a metabolic stress. You secrete tons of stress hormones, and this probably explains why endurance athletes, long distance runners look like this, whereas sprinters and football players look like that. And going back to the beginning, like I said, during the time I was vegan, I actually had a lot more anxiety and depression, which could have been very much nutritionally related, but it wasn't just that. Getting a good friend who made me laugh all the time in the gym was a huge stress relief. So something I would highly recommend is reducing your total stress. Cortisol, the classic stress hormone, is catabolic in nature, meaning that it's going to break down your muscle tissue and rob you of your gains or muscular development. So I cannot emphasize enough reducing your stress all across the board. Now, I totally understand there's so many other things you could get into in regards to putting on muscle or gaining healthy muscle mass. But in my opinion, after these things we discuss, the rest is kind of arbitrary. My physics mentor taught me that you need to focus on the 4 primary factors. Figure out what are the most dominant, important forces or factors affecting your goals, focus on them, and then forget the rest. And in my opinion, what's more dominant of a force affecting the quality of your muscle and health than good friendship and accountability, ensuring that you're actually working out and working out appropriately, the right workouts, reducing your stress, and eating correctly. You know, these are the most dominant factors, and this is my personal experience of how I went from skinny, no muscle, unhealthy, to looking like this, again, in 3 months. That just goes to show you how much stress I was experiencing doing the cardio and eating the vegan diet. In 3 months of correcting those things, I went from this to this. That's it for this video, guys. It's getting dark out and I'm on top of a mountain where there are mountain lions, so I'm gonna get out of here. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new to my channel if you want to see more videos just like this. Until next time, I'm Nick.